gonna appeal to most of you, which is how you could get the best of both worlds, where you don't necessarily have to choose between working for a new construction builder and working for a broker exclusively. Now you might be wondering, if you already took the course, how is that legal? How are you able to do that? Because according to the law, your real estate license can only be registered with one employer, whether that be a broker or an owner-developer. So how can you work with both? We'll talk about that, as well as the differences for working solely with a broker or basically solely with an owner-developer, wherever it is that you're hanging your real estate license. What are the pros and cons, and kind of what are the differences? And there's a lot of other things you could do with your real estate license, but these are two of the most popular options. Really, the most popular option is registering your license with a broker, but as far as residential sales go, right there second in line is going to be new home sales consultants, registered licensees that are working for an owner-developer as opposed to a broker. And then you also have the agents that are working for a broker but specialize in new construction. So we're going to be covering all this and more, and really, again, highlighting the differences, the similarities. Either way, this is going to require a real estate license if you want to earn compensation based on sales. So we're going to talk about all of that today on this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. Stick with us. I'm John Carissimo. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate.
You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
And welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor, where today we're talking about the differences between registering your license with a broker or a builder. So let's talk about some of these differences between working for a broker versus working for a builder. So working for a broker, you can broker any property. This is going to be really the most significant difference that distinguishes the broker versus a builder. Is with a broker, you can literally sell any property, whereas if you register your license with a new home builder or really any sort of developer, corporation, anything that is basically not a licensed real estate broker, but you're basically doing transactions on behalf of this entity, such as a builder. But since the builder is not a broker, you need to be a broker to be able to broker any property sale. So if you register your license with a broker, you could literally earn commission for selling any real estate in Florida, any real estate at all, with a broker. Whereas when your license is registered with a builder, so if you're just a sales associate and your license is registered with a builder, you do not have the capacity to transact outside of that builder's properties. So essentially, you're much more limited when you work for a owner-developer or new home builder, whatever it is that you want to call them, because you're limited to selling just the properties that are owned by that builder. And that's a requirement of the law. Because, again, in order for you to broker real estate sales, you need to be a broker or have a real estate licensed with a broker. But when you work for a builder, you could only sell the builder's properties. So imagine somebody comes to you and says, hey, I want to buy a home in this new neighborhood you're assigned to for your home builder. Perfect. You could help them do that. You could help them buy a home in that neighborhood that's owned by your home builder. And you could actually even do this without a real estate license, but the catch is, if you want to earn compensation based on the transaction, you do need a real estate license. In theory, there are potentially positions out there where you just earn some sort of hourly wage or salary or something like that, and they actually do exist. Some of these positions are out there. They're just very few and far between, just because there's a lot of people that do have a real estate license, and that's ultimately who a home builder typically does want to employ, because then they don't have to pay you just for simply being there. They could pay you on a more incentive type of basis. And that's another big difference that you have working for a builder versus working for a broker. Working for a builder, it's a little bit more like a job. If it isn't a job. Now, why is it like a job? Well, because this is not your own business that you're building. And on top of that, it usually pays more like a job where there's a paycheck. And that usually consists of maybe some sort of base salary, some sort of base pay. This usually isn't much. It's usually a very minimal nominal amount that satisfies laws typically, and then the majority of your money is expected to be earned based on commission, if you're licensed. So recapping the builder side of things, again, you're limited to only sell the properties that are owned by the builder. It's a little bit more like a job, being that you'll be an employee typically of these home builders. Sometimes you might be an independent contractor, but if there's ever any sort of base pay, that will be where you are an employee. And usually in this employee type of environment, it's more like traditional employee type of jobs where there's going to be a set schedule, set times. You have to be at a certain place at a model home or something like that, be available for phone calls, and so on. If you're getting into real estate to be your own boss, working for a builder usually isn't the route it is that you want to go. But if you're looking for a little bit more structure, if you're looking for something a little bit more like a job, a little bit less, maybe you're not ready to go build your own business and you want to start off with something that isn't quite as intimidating, that's again maybe working for a builder. But because you're not necessarily building any long-term business here, you're just helping build this home builder's business, the long-term benefit of this really isn't there as much. So let's compare this to working with a broker. And how is this different now if you work with a broker? Well, first off, you could broker any property sale, which includes new construction. You can be working for a broker, but specialize in new construction sales. The thing is, just as the law says, you can only have one license registered in one place as an associate. So if you're a sales associate and you're registered under a broker, then your license can only be registered under a broker, and that's it. There's only one license that you get to register under your broker. Or you could register that with a builder, but again, if you register it with a builder, there's all these strings attached, and again, it's a little bit more like a job as opposed to building your own business. So with a broker, there's a lot more flexibility, a lot more freedom of how it is that you want to actually do business. And that includes what properties you want to sell. You can sell any properties. You're not limited to just selling properties that are your firm's listings. You can literally sell anything. And even if it's not in the MLS, if it's a for sale by owner, you could use certain documents and contracts to do a sale and still, again, legally be paid a commission. Whereas over here, if you're working for the builder, let's just go back over to this side. And I don't mean to necessarily knock working for a builder. It's just most of you that are looking to be your own boss and build a business, you're probably not going to be happy working for a builder because, again, it is more like a job. I mean, yes, you're selling real estate, but in more of an employee type of capacity. But one of the big differences with a builder, again, that you could only sell the builder's property. So let's say you've got a friend that comes to you and wants to buy a home in the neighborhood. Can you sell them the property? As long as that neighborhood is owned by your developer or the lot is owned by your developer, yes, you can. So you could sell them that lot that's owned by your builder, by your developer, but let's say that when you're working for a builder, your friend also asked you, hey, I need to sell my home, can you help me do that? The answer is no. Now you might wonder, well, can I refer this to somebody and earn a referral fee since I have a license? No. Because you can only earn a referral fee if you are working with a broker. So working for a builder, you'd be able to make money selling them the new home in that builder subdivision because you work for the builder here, but you would not be able to make a penny off of the sale of their home, wherever that may be. Whereas when you work with a broker, you again can transact on any property. So not only can the builder pay you a commission, it just has to be paid through your broker that then gets paid to you, just like any other seller or any other commission would get paid through your broker and then paid to you. But there's no limits on what properties you could earn commission on when you work with a broker, because literally to broker means to bring together buyers and sellers. So that's more so what you're doing on the broker side. Whereas with the builder, you're working directly for the builder as opposed to working at a broker. A broker is there to bring together independent buyers and sellers, and we're essentially the middleman in all of this process here. Now, getting into some of the other details that we've got here. So this is going to be more like a business. If it isn't a business, if you wouldn't call it a business. It's like a business if you wouldn't call it. It really is a business. That's essentially what you're doing when you get your real estate license and you register with a broker. Most of the time, you can think of it almost like a club, an incubator for your business. Now, there's certain ways maybe your broker will require you to do certain things, whether that be because of the law or just company policy to ensure brand standards and so on and so forth, to make sure the client experience stays the same. But ultimately, there's a lot more flexibility and a lot more opportunity, I would say, working at a broker as opposed to working for a builder. Now, again, this has more of the structure. This is more of the consistency. If you're, again, looking for more of a job type of environment, that, again, probably be working for a builder. But if you're looking to be your own boss, to set your own schedule, to make your own hours, to chart your own destiny, to actually get out of your business what you put into it, that's going to be where you're going to want to register your license with a broker. But now, since this is more like a business, there is typically not a paycheck. In the traditional sense. And when I mean paycheck, I mean no base pay. Why? Because who's paying you when this is your business? Is it your broker that's paying you? No. Because you're not an employee of your broker. You're an employee of this builder, so over here you're much more likely to get some sort of employee-based pay. But when you're working for a broker, you're not really working for a broker. It's just simply really that your license is registered with that broker. Now, ultimately, your broker is the overseeing authority on everything it is that you do, but really in the context to ensure that laws are followed and to really set you up for success. So that's at least the idea of a good broker and what role it is that they're there to provide. Not just satisfy the legal requirement, make sure you don't do anything illegal, but also, again, set up your business to be successful. And some brokerages are going to be a little bit more particular with the way you do things, maybe a little bit more like this, just without the actual base pay or anything like that you get as an employee, but again, with a lot more opportunity. Because typically this is commission only pay when you're working at a broker. Now, you might be an assistant. You could be an unlicensed or licensed assistant, and if you're a licensed assistant, you could earn a base pay plus commission. But aside from maybe somebody being an assistant, or you maybe on a team or something like that, but again, when you are getting some sort of base pay, that really only comes when it's more of an employee type of role, more like a job, which, if that's what you're looking for, if that's what you need, that's where, again, I would maybe consider working for a builder, or maybe consider if there's any agents that are potentially looking for a licensed assistant. Now, not all agents hire licensed assistants. I'm not going to say there's a huge market for licensed assistants, but there's a lot of people out there that function as licensed assistants that maybe they're not the outgoing, bubbly type of salesperson that's just going to go out there and generate business like there's no tomorrow, but maybe they're very good at keeping things in order and keeping things in check and making sure things don't go awry. That would be somebody who might thrive in a licensed assistant type of role. So it's really about understanding your strengths, weaknesses, and ultimately what it is that you want to get out of the real estate business. And that's going to help make a lot more sense of which of these two opportunities you might want to go down. And there's other opportunities as well in commercial real estate, working with businesses, agricultural, a lot of different things that you can do with your real estate license. But the most common things, really the most common, is registering your license with a broker. When you think of a traditional realtor or real estate agent, whatever you want to call them, they're usually a sales associate, maybe a broker associate, that's registered with a broker. And they have the capacity to sell, to buy and sell, to help people buy and sell any property within the state of Florida. Now, there might be some limitations imposed by their broker for maybe, because remember, everything it is that you do, you're able to do it when you're registered with a broker because it's technically only your broker who has that capacity to do those things. They're just giving you authorization to carry out those duties on their behalf when you register your license with them. So that's kind of how that works from the legal standpoint, but short of that, you're usually an independent contractor. And that means you get a 1099. And that really means that you are a business from a tax standpoint when you're receiving a 1099, that you're an independent contractor business. You're your own independent business working within this business. Now, if you're looking to just get by, there's not going to be any base pay that's going to just get you by in real estate. Maybe if you're working for a builder, but I'll be honest with you here. If you're just getting by with the base pay, they're probably not going to keep you. They want people that sell things. They're paying you some sort of base pay either because they have to or because they want you to have some money in between sales maybe, but ultimately this is still a sales-oriented type of role. And so if you're looking to get into real estate because you want to be your own boss, because you don't want to answer to somebody, and even this whole idea of a broker, that's maybe turning you off a little bit. Listen, when you register with a broker, most brokers have, maybe a couple additional rules, things it is that you're supposed to do to make sure things are done legally, that they're done right. But beyond that, they might have some teachings of how to build a successful real estate business, but it's really up to you of what it is that you want to do with your real estate business. There's not going to be somebody usually there telling you, hey, you need to do this or you're going to get fired, because you're an independent contractor. So if you're looking to just get by, no one's really going to fire you here. Maybe they do, because maybe they're sick of looking at you not doing anything. Maybe then they want to get rid of you, but that's typically not the case in brokerage. And for a lot of you guys that are thinking about starting real estate part-time, that's the way a lot of people start in real estate. And you could do that over here. A builder usually isn't going to be looking for a part-time salesperson. They want somebody fully committed there probably 6-7 days a week selling real estate. Whereas at a broker, again, it's more of what you make of it. Now, some brokers might not work with part-time agents because they might not have the infrastructure or the right set of tools and training to be able to help part-time agents be successful. But for brokerages that do, and that's part of this, finding the right broker for you. Over here, this is more like a job. This is going to be more like you're interviewing to get a job, hoping, crossing your fingers that they're going to want to hire you, that they'll offer you a position. Whereas working at a broker, it's a little bit different. Again, you can think of the broker more as like a club, a incubator. Really, again, as a new agent, what ideally it is that you want from your broker is somebody that's going to help you launch your real estate career. Now, what it is that you need from that brokerage to get you to take that real estate career to where it is that you want to be, maybe that brokerage doesn't have. But how do you know that? Well, you got to have a plan in advance. And this is why I highly recommend that you take post-licensing. So if you haven't heard about post-licensing yet, it's a course that's required after you get your real estate license. If you haven't got your real estate license yet, you haven't even taken the pre-licensing course, in your pre-licensing course, it's going to cover a lot of laws and rules and basic information that's going to teach you how to practice real estate legally. And that's the information you need to know to be able to pass your real estate exam so you could actually use your real estate license to make some money. But here's the problem after going through that pre-licensing. You know what maybe needs to legally go in a contract and maybe how to do an appraisal and you know a bunch of stuff about property taxes and mortgages. But now what do you actually do with this information with actual people? Well, that's where post-licensing comes in. And post-licensing, one of the first things you do is build a business plan. And when it comes down to figuring out what is going to be right for you with your real estate business, maybe you've already eliminated that you don't want to work for a builder. Or maybe that does sound appealing to you because you are looking maybe for more of a job type of position. But if you're looking to build your own business, what's immensely important is having a plan, of knowing what it is that you want to get out of real estate, so you're not just floating aimlessly through real estate hoping you one day discover what success is and attain it, but actually make that definition of, okay, this is what I want to do with my first 12 months in real estate. I want to sell this many houses, I want to make this much money, and in order to do that, I need to do all these things here. That's part of the business plan. And I'm not talking about some big fancy report it is that you're writing, but just a couple quick calculations and some ideas and strategies of how it is that you're going to get leads and turn those leads into actual closings. And also, again, knowing the numbers of how many leads you need to get to this many closings, because not every lead will result in a closing. Not even every contract will result in a closing. Hopefully, most of the time they do result in a closing, but sometimes contracts fall through. So business planning is really an essential component. And once you understand more of what you want to get out of real estate, that's where it's going to become more obvious what's going to be the best option for you to launch your real estate career. So look, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but stick with us. We'll be back in just a minute. Have you completed your post-licensing education yet? Look, I know you're probably thinking, hey, it's not my renewal deadline, I don't need to do post-licensing yet, but look, here's why you want to do post-licensing as soon as you've got your real estate license, as soon as you're able to take post-licensing. It's not just another course about arbitrary laws that you're never going to use again. It's about real-world, usable topics that'll help you grow your real estate business, to help you take it to the next level. Look, let me ask you this one question. If this course helps you close just one deal, if you get one extra deal from post-licensing, is it worth the investment? I'd say it is. We get paid pretty well, so one deal means a lot of money. Check out postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com for the full details about post-licensing. And welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor, where we're comparing broker versus builder. Do you want to register your license with a broker or a builder? And really what it comes down to, if you're looking for more of a job type of environment, then definitely be prepared for a little bit more of a job hunt, more of a traditional employee type of role. That's typically what you'd get working with a builder. Now, do you need a real estate license to be in that position? No. But if you want to get paid commission, yes, you do need a real estate license, even if you're working directly for the builder. That's a great question to remember for your real estate exam as well. But now, working for a broker, as I said at the beginning, you could have the best of both worlds because you're able to broker any property sales. That means not only things that are in the MLS, but anybody, any seller that's willing to pay you a commission, or even when buyers are willing to pay you a commission. Anybody that's willing to pay a commission for you contributing to the sale in some way, either working with the seller or working with the buyer, you're legally able to earn that compensation working with a broker. Versus in a builder, you could only earn compensation from your builder when you sell one of the builder's properties, and only if you sell one of the builder's properties and not any other property, only properties that are owned by the builder. So again, you're much more limited. Now, with this, because it is more like a job, less like a business, the builder is typically more responsible for driving business, doing the marketing, the advertising, and again, you're playing a smaller role in a bigger organization with a home builder. Now, at a brokerage, even though your brokerage might be a large brokerage, maybe you're joining a brokerage that has thousands of agents. That's maybe not the best recommendation, I would say, as a new agent. Very easy to get lost in some of these larger brokerages, but let's say you are, whether it's 100 agents, 1,000 agents, 50 agents, 20 agents, whatever the case may be, even though there's these multiple people, they're all their own independent businesses. And so again, that's where I like to think of working in a broker. It's more like a club that you're joining that's giving you the tools, the technology, the training, the processes to build a successful business. And so if you're looking for more of that opportunity to have unlimited income potential, if that's something that triggers you to want to take a real estate course or make you think about it at least, maybe the build your own schedule. If you want unlimited income, if you want to build your own schedule, if you want to, again, and these are all things that come from businesses. And that's really what this is. All we're here offering is a very specific business model. one specifically involving a real estate license. Now, if you were to think of maybe buying a restaurant franchise, and honestly, in the environment that we have out there right now, I'm not sure if a restaurant is going to be the best investment, but think of buying into a restaurant franchise. You might be paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy into this model, to understand the processes, the systems, the infrastructure investment it is that you have to make maybe in building out the restaurant and equipment, and then think of the employees you need just to make a few dollars off of every sale. That's a significant investment with a lot of risk. Whereas now compare that to what it takes to start a real estate business. Yes, there's courses to take. Yes, there might be associations to join and tools and technology, and there's going to be costs. Like any business you'll be starting, there's going to be cost. But for you, investing those costs up front, you have the opportunity to earn unlimited income. There is no limit on how much money it is that you can make with your real estate license. Now, if you're working for a builder, they only have so many homes it is that you could sell. Even if you sell every single one of them, there's only so many they could sell until they go through and buy more. And no matter how many that you sell, it's not really personally benefiting you, except for indirectly through the company, because ultimately you're helping that company grow. And yes, even at a brokerage, when you join a brokerage and you're selling property at that brokerage, yes, you're helping that brokerage grow. But because you're taking on much more of the risk, much more of the obligation, much more of the responsibility, it is more of your business, these commissions are much higher typically working for a broker than working for a builder. Especially if you're getting some sort of base pay working for the builder, the commissions are going to be a smaller amount than what you would earn typically just bringing someone to the builder. A lot of the builders also, again, they have programs that are set up to incentivize real estate agents to bring their clients to that builder. Incentive programs that give you increasing commission payments, where maybe, let's say on the first sale you get paid a 3% commission, and then on the second sale a 4% commission, on the third sale a 5% commission, and usually they cap out at something like that. But they run these little promos all the time, and sometimes they'll have like bonus commissions if you close by a certain date, or you bring somebody in by a certain date, or get it under contract by a certain date. Now is that available to you working for the builder? Only for those builder properties. Whereas working at a broker, any home builder can pay you a commission. It does have to be paid through your broker technically, but any home builder can pay a commission. You could earn a commission legally from any of them, regardless of how much they want to pay, whether it's a small commission or a huge commission with extra bonuses. So again, there's a lot more opportunity working on the brokerage side, but it does entail more risk because this is more where you're starting your own business. This is more where, again, you're an employee, you're starting a career, maybe more so. Whereas over here, working with a broker, this is your own business, which that now brings with it, yes, more obligation, more responsibility, but much more potential, much more opportunity, really limitless of what you could achieve. And this business doesn't have to just be yourself. Maybe you hire a assistant, maybe unlicensed, maybe one of your kids is, pretty good with technology and they kind of help you out with that side of things. And so you hire them and you just pay them hourly as an unlicensed assistant. You can't pay them any compensation based on sales, but you could pay them some sort of hourly wage or salary. And it doesn't have to be your kids, it could be anybody that you need to help you in your business. And if you hire a licensed assistant, then they could do literally everything it is that you could do. Or maybe you start to build out a real estate team, or maybe one day you want to even open your own real estate brokerage. You just need 2 years of experience working under a broker to be able to open your own brokerage, as well as taking a course, completing some additional exams, going through the whole application process all over again, essentially, to get your broker license. But if you do ultimately someday want to get your broker license to be able to run your own independent brokerage, make sure that you register your license with a broker, because you will not earn any experience requirement registering your license with a builder. And again, you need to have at least 2 years of experience, as the law is currently written, within the last 5 years in order to be eligible to go take the broker exam, to take the broker course and then take the broker exam. You got to have the 2 years of experience. So if that's something you want to achieve, or maybe even have the option of, maybe you're not sure if you want to open a brokerage yet, maybe you don't even have your license yet, but you like the idea, you like the sound of that, that's where I would definitely keep in mind. And for most of you, again, the typical real estate agent, the typical realtor, they're usually registered with a broker. There's quite a few people that do work directly for a home builder, because there's a lot of new construction, at least in the Tampa area. Maybe where you are, there isn't a lot of new construction, so maybe this doesn't really exist, but at least in the Tampa market, and as well as a lot of other markets throughout the country, there's a lot of new construction and home building going on. And they do hire salespeople. But at the same time, even when they have their own salespeople, they're still willing to pay a commission if you bring a buyer who's ready, willing, and able to purchase a home. Downside when you're selling new construction is you usually don't get paid your commission until the property closes, and that usually takes a little bit longer because usually these homes aren't finished yet. But they're usually easier sales because there's a salesperson directly working for the builder who is also commission based, who is also going to get paid a commission if this transaction goes through. And plus, it's easy to sell new homes because everything is nice and new and it smells good, but they should still use a real estate professional because there's still some nuances to this process that we'd help guide them through, as well as helping in identifying and selecting that perfect home right from the get-go. But little things here to avoid potential pitfalls, as well as helping negotiate. You know, we've done episodes before, and I won't go too deep into this because we're almost out of time for today, but we've done episodes before about negotiating with builders. And, you know, the simplest way I could break this down is builders typically don't want to negotiate on price because they don't want to have a low price history. They want to have a high price history, so the way you negotiate with a builder isn't necessarily on the sale price, but on what it is that they're giving you, what incentive it is that they have. Because if they can maintain that high sales price, that's going to look good for the future homes they have to sell in the neighborhood. Whereas when they sell for a lower price, not only does that hurt the home values of the neighborhood, but now all the future homeowners can see that that home sold for this much less, and so they're going to want it for that much less, because they're basically building the same thing in the same place. So they're usually very unwilling to negotiate on price, but they're usually very willing to bundle in some incentives to be able to get the deal done. And that's part of the thing we could master if we want to be a new construction specialist. Not just knowing where all the good new communities are, and for our end, knowing how much it is that they'll pay us if we bring them a buyer. So we've got all that due diligence done in advance. But then when it comes down to actually negotiating with the builder, helping them negotiate the best deal for them, securing the best overall deal, but then also making sure that, you know, they're still doing inspections and whatnot, that the buyer is still ordering an inspection. A home builder might say, oh, don't you trust us? No, we got our own people that go through and check off everything to make sure everything is good to go for you. No, you'll want to hire your own inspector. And that's why we have a real estate professional help through that process. And maybe your buyer is also considering a resale home, not just new construction. When we work for a broker, we could jump between new constructions and resale and condos and townhomes or any type of real estate that we want to sell. Because again, at a broker, we could sell any property. So that's again really the difference between working with a broker versus working for a builder in a nutshell. If you've got more questions on this, maybe you're thinking about getting your real estate license and starting your real estate career, whatever questions you have, give us a call. We have licensed instructors and sales associates and real estate professionals here at the school standing by to answer your questions and assist you in any way it is that they can. We want to help people start successful real estate careers. That's literally why we do these shows every single week, is to help you with the information you need to build a successful real estate career. So if you like today's show, if you've liked today's topic about broker versus a builder, give us a thumbs up so we know to do more videos like this in the future. And make sure you hit that bell icon so we get notifications. You get notifications whenever it is that we've got new content, so you don't miss out on this information. But again, if you've got questions, call us up, 813-333-2676. You can also text us at that number. Again, it's 813-333-2676. We've got great bundle packages that include the pre-licensing course as well as the post-licensing. Sometimes those can be a little bit tricky to find on our website. So if you're thinking about signing up, or if you just want more information about the class schedule and what it takes to get your real estate license, or what those next steps are after you have your real estate license, or maybe you need some tools to study for your real estate exam, we've got what you need to build a successful real estate career. Give us a call, 813-333-2676. That's about all the time it is that we've got for today. So thank you guys for tuning in. But remember to join us on Friday for state of real estate, where we'll be talking about masterminding to grow your real estate business. That's all the time we've got for today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on Friday. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.